It's an absolutely wild day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast has just released another batch of Final Fantasy cards, and these ones are absolutely crazy. Some of them do things we've never seen before.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another juicy installment of Mega Magic News. This time we're back for some of the craziest Magic cards ever made, this time in the world of Final Fantasy. And like I said, some of these cards do things we've never seen done before and are quite exciting. Now, there is a little bit of disappointment out there in the Magic community over the fact that Final Fantasy is so expensive and it does seem to be difficult to get your hands on some of the products. Dive into the cardboard craziness. Let's go. We're starting out with some absolute craziness in the form of one of my favorite characters from Final Fantasy VI, Edgar, King of Figaro. 2 blue and 4 for a 4/5 legendary human artificer noble. When he enters, you draw a card for each artifact you control. That includes tokens like treasures or food, and he's got 2-headed coin. The first time you flip 1 or more coins each turn, those coin flips come up heads, and you win those flips. That is such a bonkers ability. Magic the Gathering has made a bunch of coin flipping cards over the years, including cards that let you flip extra coins when you're flipping, but nothing that straight up lets you rig the results and go, oh yeah, no, I win the flip no matter what. So that is an awesome ability, but it's also a fun nod to Final Fantasy where a double-sided coin is used multiple times throughout the storyline for fun little effect, including one instance where it's used against a gambling man when he's like, oh, a game of chance. There ain't no chance. It's rigged. So this is a wild ability. Obviously not the most insane from a power perspective. There are far more powerful cards, but what you can do with Edgar is amazing. And I remember replaying through Final Fantasy VI and going, oh, you're going to go by a different name in the Dark World? Well, what if I change your name to that name at the beginning of the game? Ha ha! And the programmers of the game anticipated people actually going back through and changing his name for the second playthrough, and were ready for it. So you get to that moment where you're like, ha ha, you're going to say, I'm not Gerard, I'm Gerard. But instead, nope, you're actually somebody else entirely, which is just a really fun memory that adds extra depth to this card for me. I'm super stoked about it. Then we've got From Father to Son, and this artwork feels like it could come straight out of New Capenna, doesn't it? Here's your new roadster, forget about it. 1 white and 1 for a sorcery. Search your library for your vehicle card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If this spell was cast from a graveyard, put that card onto the battlefield instead. So, Magic has made a lot of tutors over the years, and the cheaper the tutor, the better it gets, right? Think about what's going on with the whole game changer list for Commander. It is a ton of tutors on there. So this is a tutor that'll grab you a vehicle early and then later on just let you get a vehicle full on from your graveyard. Not from your graveyard, from your deck. It wouldn't be nearly as good if it just resurrected it from your graveyard. No, instead, go through your library, pick any vehicle, regardless of how big and dumb it is, and put it straight into play. That is quite a gift. I don't know if it's supposed to be like the first version is when dad is alive, here's a vehicle, but it's like maybe a beater and takes a bit more work, and then when he dies you get all his money, so you're like, I'm gonna buy a Ferrari, Papa, I miss you. Either way, this is a crazy tutor. Then we've got This is Genova. So I don't normally include non-English cards in these spoiler videos, but this one is so bonkers that I absolutely had to, right? So Genova is a green, a black, and 2, is 1/5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1/+1 counters on one of your creatures. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to the +1/+1 counters. And Genova says, whenever a creature dies on your turn, if it was a mutant, draw cards equal to its power. This is bonkers, right? Just feed gigantic dudes into the meat grinder, draw a bunch of cards. It's kind of like greater good without you actually having to go ahead and discard cards. And on top of that, the flavor is amazing as well. This is from Final Fantasy VII, and Genova is an alien that scientists took DNA from and just started injected into people. Hey, let's see what happens. This is one of the ancients. No, this is what destroyed all the ancients, you fool. And so that's what leads to all the Sephiroth craziness, and Genova is just such an interesting character, and this is a fun build around me crazy card as well. Then we've got Joshua. Phoenix is dominant. The dominants are interesting because it appears, now I don't know how Final Fantasy, what is it? Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 14, one of those. I don't know exactly how the dominants work, but it looks like they're humans that have the actual different espers in their bodies and they can transform into them or unleash them from their bodies. So Joshua is a white, a red, and one for a 3/4. When he enters, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. 1 white, 1 red, and 3. Exile him, return him to the battlefield transformed under his owner's control, only at sorcery speed. So on this side, you can see he's got some sort of Phoenix cloak going on, or this is him drawing in the Phoenix magic, or perhaps it's the Phoenix magic bursting out of him. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that it's Phoenix time, because he turns into Phoenix, the Warden of Fire. And the first 2 levels on this 4/4 flying lifelink says Phoenix deals 2 damage to each opponent. So bear in mind that lifelink means that it automatically is going to give you a little bit of life. If you're playing Commander more, you're going to get to smash 3 opponents and gain 6 life off of that for the first 2 iterations. And then the third step is returning a number of target creature cards with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, risen by the Phoenix, and then exile the Phoenix and return it to the battlefield like front face up. So it goes, you go back to the dude, and then you can once again transform it back into the Phoenix and keep an unending cycle of the saga action going. On top of this just being a 4/4 flying lifelink, and then it's got the abilities too. Like, this is absolutely bonkers, and I really do enjoy the enchantment saga concepts here. After that, we've got Poo Poo UFO, which is just what? This is bizarre, okay? A 2-cost 0/4 alien construct with flying. Tap it, you can put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. And 3, until end of turn, this creature's base power becomes equal to the number of towns you control. This is just such a bizarre card. If it lets you put land cards onto your hand from the battlefield, it really does feel like this alien is just dropping a pyramid off, and it just it feels so absolutely absurd to see alien cards in Magic the Gathering, especially little goofbag ones like this. So I included it for its craziness level, not really for its power level. It doesn't feel like it's too crazy powerful or anything. It lets you put lands out for free, whoop-de-doo, and then for 3 mana, it's as big as the number of towns you control, and aren't towns only available in this set? So there's maybe, 5 different towns in total? So I guess if you played with 4 copies of each town, then you could theoretically have him as 20 power. But ultimately, he's just a little wongle that I had to include because of how bizarre this looks as a Magic card, right? Then we've got the Earth Crystal. We looked at the Dark Crystal on the previous spoiler video, and in this one we're getting all the other crystals. They are powerful artifacts. This one is especially appealing to me. 2 green and 2, they're all legendary. This makes green spells you cast cost 1 less mana. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, twice that many are put on it instead. So it's got a pseudo doubling season action going on, and a built-in way to get counters. 2 green and 4, tap, distribute 2 +1/+1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures you control. So those will be doubled as well. And you'll note it does not say at sorcery speed, so you can do this whenever you want. Yes, it does cost a fair bit of mana. 4 to put out before you start getting the mana reduction, and 6 to activate. But man, this is a really sweet card. And the next crystal is the Fire Crystal. 2 red and 2, makes your red cost 1 less, gives all your guys haste. And then as well, oh, by the way, 2 red and 4, tap it, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, sack it at the beginning of the next end step. That is a hefty cost, let's be real. Red tends to be a little faster, let's beat you down. And there is some crazy stuff for red in this set. We've already seen things like Suplex, which is a lot of fun, but there is another red card we're going to look at in this video that definitely might have more of an impact than the Fire Crystal, actually. This feels like one that is fun, and I would absolutely put in my cube, but I don't know if for current red decks, this is actually going to move the needle at all, right? Like 6 mana to make a token, but it's pretty sweet. The artwork is absolutely awesome. Imagine questing for these crystals. Look at that platform sitting above all this like cracked volcanic magma land with the statues around it. Looks pretty epic. Then we've got the Water Crystal. 2 blue and 2. This one makes your blue spells cost 1 less. And it's all about mill. And if an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill that many plus 4 instead. So a bare minimum, any mill becomes mill 5. And it only affects your opponents. So if it says all players mill 1, everybody else mills 5, you mill 1. And then down here, 2 blue and 4. Each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in your hand. So even if you've just drawn your 1 card for the turn, you're going to get to mill them for 5. This does cost a lot of mana, but it is a repeatable mill effect, and this can be done at instant speed. So you can sit back and do your blue like debaggery going, ha ha, I'm ready to respond to everything you do. And if you don't do anything, well then the mill tolls for thee, son. And I really like the watery vibe of the artwork as well. It kind of makes me think of that Japanese wave art, right? So very cool. And last but not least, you got the Wind Crystal. 2 white and 2. White spells cost 1 less. If you'd gain life, gain twice that life, because why not? And 2 white and 4. Creatures you control gain flying and lifelink until end of turn. Raise your squad up into the air from the wind and bring the smack down, boy. So this is one that's got kind of an inevitability to it, right? You're going to be gaining life. It's going to be doubling up, so it's going to be easier to get to the point where you're going to have enough mana to use this boost your creature ability with lifelink and flying. And then any creatures you have that deal damage, you're gaining twice that much life. Like, that is absolutely bonkers. Then we got Summon Titan, big green 7/7 trampler with reach. For 2 green and 3, his first level is mill 5 cards. Not such a fan of milling myself, but what are you going to do? The second is return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's got some real potential depending on what you fed into your graveyard and with the milling. And then the third is when until end of turn, another target creature you control gets trample and +X/+X, where X is the number of lands you control. So in the right build, this is going to be absolutely bonkers. This giant of destruction. But it's not really too powerful either, right? So this is probably one that's mostly going to get ignored aside from decks that care about cranking out a bunch of lands and going ham in that way. Then we've got, well, that was a weird little gap. I don't know what that was about. Anyways, I said that red was getting more stuff to play around with, and haste magic is what I was talking about. 1 red and 1 for an instant. Target creature gets +3/+1 and haste until end of turn. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it until your next end step. This is crazy. Red has gotten so super powerful on such a low to the ground level. You don't need a bunch of expensive rares and mythics to make your red deck run. Little mono beatdown red decks have become a complete scourge on places like Arena because their power level is off the chain. Look at the Steel Cutter recently. That's just been, here you go, I made another monk. Here you go, I made another monk. Boost, beat, right? So 2 mana to add +3/+1 onto a dude. Also, if you just put him out, he can swing that turn, and you're getting more gas off the top of your deck. So this, to me, actually seems more impactful for red than the red stone that we just looked at, even though that crystal is pretty powerful. Ultimately, the haste magic here. They just keep making all these like bonkers boost spells and giving you additional gas off the top as well. It's so nuts. And it speaks to the fact that Wizards didn't really have standard design to be a 3-year format, and now having 3 years worth of stuff in it has made things crazier. And as an added bonus, I mean, it shows Cloud coming downtown with the magical action and the Busta Sword, which looks a little small in this artwork, doesn't it? It's your sword's looking a little short there, Cloud. All right, what do we got next? We got Lindbloom Industrial Regency. So this is one of the town lands, the ones that has a spell side and a land side. So the spell side on this one is Mage Siege. 1 red and 2 instant. Create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. It's so weird having a red land that makes a 0/1 black wizard. Right? Having a creature from red, like made by a red card, because I mean, this isn't technically a red card because lands are colorless, but it taps for red and it's got a red spell side to it. So I consider it to be essentially a red card. So red cards totally do make creatures that go, oh, look, I'm casting instants and sorceries, non-creature spells, take a damage. But to make a 0/1 black wizard token feels weird. Like not having an red cards that make creatures with 0 power kind of goes against the beatdown nature of red. It's very interesting. So, I mean, I don't know. 3 mana to make a 0/1, but slapping it onto a land as an added bonus feels all right. And at least the spell side of it is pretty cheap. I definitely enjoy the artwork on this particular version where you can see Zidane kind of creeping away. It's almost like you caught him and he didn't intend to be in the artwork. So he's like, I'm just gonna, if you don't mind, take a step off to the side and I'll just get out of your way. That is fun. And I mean, it's a solid card. The fact that it comes into play tapped though, I mean, it's probably mostly going to get overlooked by red. But the Black Wizard thing is something unique to Final Fantasy. And it's not even the only card, if I'm not mistaken in the spoilers, that does that. Oh, actually, it's right here. Queen Braun, 1 red and 2 for a 2/1 legendary human noble with prowess. And whenever Queen Braun attacks, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. So this actually shows the black wizard tokens. And I do really like the black wizard look in Final Fantasy. The eyes peering out from underneath a traditional wizard's hat feels really cool. This is just some absolutely nutty artwork. You know what I mean? Like Final Fantasy IX had some real weirdness going on. And just having this red queen that creates little black wizards, it all just ties together in such a crazy way for me that I wanted to include this as well. Then we've got Kefka's Tower. I mean, this is a reprint of Bolas's Citadel. And Bolas's Citadel is absolutely insane, right? 3 black and 3 for a legendary artifact. Look at the top card of your library anytime. You can play lands and cast spells from the top of your library, but if you cast a spell off your deck, you pay for it with life instead of mana, equal to its mana cost, which is amazing. And then tap it and sack 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. Like, this has a very Kefka feel to it. The artwork, the Amano artwork is really what made me include this. It just looks so dope, right? Like, bro, I mean, also, I love Final Fantasy VI. I can't help myself. So Kefka-related stuff, Final Fantasy-related 6 stuff specifically is going to be higher on my list. I wanted to toss this in. And then we've got Ambrosia Whiteheart, which is emblematic of a Chocobo rescue, right? 1 white and 1 for a 2/2 legendary bird with flash. When Whiteheart enters, you can return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. And landfall, whenever a land you control enters, Ambrosia gets +1/+0 till end of turn. So it seems like the Chocobo, like multiple of the Chocobo, have landfall abilities where they get power boosts. We saw that in a previous spoiler as well, where they get power boosts based on land coming out to tie them together. But for me, this is the whole fleeing from the enemy on Chocobo back kind of vibe, which happens in multiple instances. And this is a great way to take a pre-existing Magic mechanic, stuff we've seen as far back as, let's say, what was it, like Planar Chaos, Plane Chase time around then. Plane Shift, that's what it is, Plane Shift. you have creatures like this that come into play and bounce other guys back to your hand, right? So overall, a pretty crazy, cool include. And that's actually where we're going to wrap it up today with the spoilers. So thanks for coming by and hearing about the craziness. Let me know what your favorite was. My favorite is my patrons. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. You guys rule. It's time for me to get on up out of here. So I will see you all in the next video.